good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you're seeing this channel. If this is your first time of seeing my channel, please subscribe and click on the notification button in order to get future videos that will be uploaded on this channel. Today, I'm here for us to talk about a very beautiful topic, stutiloquence. Stutiloquence is the art of talking incoherently or talking without content. It could also mean abracadabra, preposterousness, ludicrousness, facetiousness, amphigorism, imbecility, and absurdity. In a more common language, stutiloquence is the art of speaking in a way that is not acceptable to people, especially in a public setting. In our everyday life, we are arrested with situations where we have to meet people and interact with them. Example, in informal discussions with friends, in work meetings with colleagues, in church meetings, in village meetings, in marriage ceremonies, in burial ceremonies, and so on and so forth. Most times, the respect we are given in such places depends greatly on the words that come out of our mouths. This is a serious problem to a lot of people, as their words can either promote them or bring about their downfall. Sometimes, members of a group meet and plan in advance to entrap another member on the day of their general meeting. It is quite unfortunate to believe that most of these people they have planned against end up falling victim of their traps and being punished at the end. Proverbs 18 verse 21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof." Death in this context simply means the punishment or the negative effect that happens to a person if they are not careful enough. And life means the reward that comes to a person if they get it right. So in a public setting, it is advisable to remain very, very careful in your conduct with other people. Signs of stutiloquence. Number 1, talking too much. When a person talks too much in a conversation with another person or with a group of people, it could be a sign of stutiloquence, in the sense that he can start talking out of point and saying things that are not even related to the discussion on ground. This could bring disrespect to him or her. Number 2, they always believe that they are right. Stutiloquents always believe that they are right and others are wrong. They can argue with you until thy kingdom comes. Proverbs chapter 26 verse 4 says, "Do not answer the fool according to his folly, or you will be just like him." When you observe that somebody has this characteristic in any place you find yourself, it is better to just keep quiet and go ahead and do things the way you think is right. Arguing with them is just a waste of time. Number 3, they express frustration quickly and openly. In any organization or any place where you find yourself, stutiloquents, if they are present, we always try to kick against those on top. By that I mean those in charge, the leaders of the group. They will even go as far as saying things that are not in reality what has been done by the leaders, just to bring them down, just to destroy their personality. Most times, people usually discover what they're capable of and do not follow them, making them fools in the process. Number 4, they expect every other one to accept their own ideas, to adapt to their own ideas. The reason why people come together in a group most of the time is to be able to solve a particular problem. Now, each and every one of them has a solution. In other words, they have an opinion or their own personal ideas that could solve that problem. The ability of the group together to come up with a solution that covers up for all the ideas of individual members is the exact solution needed for that problem to be solved. A stutiloquent, however, does not still agree with that generally accepted idea. He still goes ahead to insist that his idea is the best. Number 5, they reject instructions. Proverbs 10 verse 8 says, "The wise of heart receives commandments, but the fool will only come to ruin." In any place they find themselves, they are naturally stubborn and disobedient. They prefer to do things their own way and not the generally agreed ways put together by the leaders of the group. This, however, attracts severe punishment or penalty to them. The writer of Proverbs divides the world into 2 different people, the wise and the foolish. He said a lot about both of them. Stutiloquent people always think that they are wise, and in their ignorance they hurt others, they ruin relationships, they cloud decision making in groups where they are found, and above all, they lead others astray. If you are a man or woman seeking wisdom, you will realize that dealing with this set of people is a great burden anywhere, anytime. Ways to avoid being stutiloquent. Number 1, speak only when needed. In any conversation or in any organization you find yourself, it is very important to speak only when needed. You have to listen, be on the listening side. It would be better for you to be on the replying side. When they speak, you reply, because when they speak, you are able to get their point, articulate it, process it, and then bring out a better reply for it. Number 2, listen. You have to be a listener in order to avoid being identified as a stutiloquent. It has been observed over the years that listeners end up making better suggestions in any discussion. Let others first of all do the talking. While they are talking, you listen to them. Use your ear, listen to them. When it is finally your time to talk, you are able to say something reasonable, and you will observe that everybody will naturally gravitate towards you because your idea is the best ever mentioned, and in other words, your idea has been accepted above all. Number 3, they realize that a question is not an attack. All the time, always realize whenever you're speaking and they ask a question, always know that a question is not an attack. Although some of the members of the group may actually mean to attack you indirectly using the question, it's a trick. Don't fall for it. Remove anger, apply wisdom, and answer them politely. Number 4, do not interrupt others when they are talking. Whenever others are talking in any discussion, do not interrupt them, even if what they are saying does not make any sense. Rather, let them speak it. Let them say it. It's not your business if they mess themselves up. If you interrupt them, you can attract disrespect to yourself. And then number 5, finally, keep quiet. When you have applied the 4 steps I mentioned above and you do not get it right, it is better for you to just keep quiet. Let others do the talking. If you discover that you are being tempted to talk and then say something that is not useful, it is better for you to just leave that environment and have your peace of mind. Proverbs chapter 17 verse 28 says, "The fool is deemed wise when quiet. He is deemed, when he closes his lips, he is deemed intelligent." So it is better for you not to talk when you don't have anything useful to say than for you to finally talk and mess yourself up in front of everybody. In the world today, there are many stultiloquents. Their major limitation is the fact that they don't even know when they display it in the public. This can bring adverse effects to their lives that could even lead to their death or their demise. This is found among political leaders who possess so much power and think that they are now on top of the world. So they talk anyhow and say whatever matters to them, and in the process crumble their political careers. The masses are not also left out, because they also experience one problem or the other because of their misuse of words in the public place. So whenever you are in a public place, please be careful how you talk. So my brothers and sisters, it is time we learn to speak. We learn how to speak in any conversation we find ourselves. It is time we learn to use our wisdom instead of our emotions when speaking in a group or anywhere we find ourselves. It is time we learn not to say anything when we have nothing useful to say, so that at the end of the day we will be glad we did. So go out there and rule the world with wisdom as your mantle. Thanks and God bless.